Over these 4 videos, we're going to be looking at creating digital content in G Suite Tools. That's going to give us a great opportunity to provide equitable access for students through accessibility tools. We're also going to see how we can leverage the power of Google Classroom to distribute this mathematical learning across our class. And we're also going to look at flipped learning, so that you can preload the learning and have your students come into the lessons powered up, ready to go with mathematics. Let's get started. Here we are in Google Drive. With education accounts, you've got free unlimited storage. Here I've got a document working with fractions. Great, document's now open. So you'll see that I've got my worksheet and there's a bit missing where I need to put some maths. So within Google Docs, you can go to Insert, Equation, and you'll see these tools along the top. And we're going to select the fraction option and insert 3/5. There you go, so from within Google Docs we managed to add our fraction. However, I'm going to open up Read and Write, an accessibility tool from TextHelp, which allows students to get access to their documents more easily through prediction, dictionary, picture dictionaries, and you can also play the contents of the document.
Which of the following fractions are equivalent to 5/3?
So what I'm going to do is have a look at a different way that you can insert mathematics using a different tool. The tool we're going to use is Equatio. Equatio is free for teachers, and at the end of the video you can see how to sign up for that. And there's a subscription for students. And it gives you this option through an extension for a toolbar where you can type maths in and insert it. So it inserts this image. So now, if I open up Read and Write, and I get it to play.
Which of the following fractions are equivalent to 3/5?
Much better. If you want to get any of these tools from TextHelp, then follow the link that's coming up in a moment. And don't worry about what device you're on. I'm accessing through Google Chrome, but at whatever device you're on, there's an option for you. You can get Equatio free as a teacher, and to sign up and get it yourself, follow this link, which will be up for the rest of the video. Let's imagine that I am now a student entering into this document through their Chromebook or any other device using Chrome, and they're going to answer this question: what fraction of the shape is shaded? So they might decide that they want to type it. The other option you've got is speech input. Let me just delete this one. 3/4. Getting the students to speak it in gives you a really good idea about the misconceptions they might have. It's only going to pick up the mathematics that's correct, and if they get it wrong, then it's going to get them thinking about that language much, much better. And we can again insert that in. Don't forget that at any point, if you want to change any of the mathematics, you can click on the image, click on Edit Math, and it will bring it back ready for you to edit it. And you can insert it again once you're ready. However, there is another option. Here you'll see we've got Equatio Mobile. I'm going to go to m.equatio.io. You'll see it knows which documents are active, so I'm going to select that one. And then I'm going to select the written option, and I'm going to write the mathematics onto my phone, save it as maths, where it converts it into this image, and I can send that to the document. Okay, it's time to up the level of mathematics a little bit, and now we're looking at quadratic equations. So I'm going to create a Google Doc that I can share with my class for them to investigate quadratic equations. To do this, first of all, I need to put in the 2 equations that I'd like them to compare. So I'm going to use the equation editor to do that. The prediction allows me to put squared in. Great for students who can maybe spell a bit of mathematics terminology, but maybe don't always know what it looks like, and now they can explore that and discover that for themselves. So here's my first equation, and in that goes. And then below that, I want a second equation, which looks like this. And in that goes. So I'd really like my students to explore these graphically and see what the constants do and how they can make them match. So there's a graph editor as part of Equatio, which I'm going to click on now to create a template graph for them to play with. Brilliant. You'll see by clicking on the graph editor, we have both graphs automatically picked up from the document. And it's added the sliders in as well. And let's insert that into our document. So the final thing left to do is just to give the students a few instructions about how they can access the graph and start editing it. Okay, there we go. We've now got a document where our students can start to explore the mathematics. And through the collaborative nature of Google Docs, if you assign this through Google Classroom, then you can make a copy for every student and you can see their work from beginning to end. And we'll look at that in some subsequent videos. Okay, we've moved out of Google Docs and into Google Slides, Google's presentation tool. As always, it's collaborative. You can share it with up to 200 people and 100 people can be in it at the same time. So if you have a class that big, I obviously feel for you, but feel free to try and collaborate with all of them in one go. So we're going to investigate coordinates today. And what I'm doing in preparation for the lesson with my students is developing these slides that I can both display via my projector, but I can also share out with them so they can access via their devices, whether that's during or after the lesson. So what we want to look at is coordinates in a line. So I'm going to open up my Equatio extension and I'm going to go straight to the graph editor, Desmos. So I'm going to put in a couple of coordinates. There we go. So you could choose to turn on the labels so it makes it easier for students to understand the coordinates if they're learning that as they go, or you can turn it off. And for the moment, hide that. Okay, so we've got our two coordinates. And what I'd like to do is insert that graph into the slides. In it goes. I'm going to just resize that to make it fit a bit better on the right-hand side. And then I can write my instructions in here. To make that fit the space we've got. And again, a few instructions wouldn't do any harm. So we can easily insert graphs into our documents and slides. So that means that you can use it for presentation purposes and demonstration during the lesson, or you can share this to the students so they can edit it in the documents that they have access to. Just remember, if I would click on that and go to Edit Math, I go back into the document, I go back into the graph rather. And for example, I could choose to demonstrate using constants. Once again, we can create the sliders and we can slide these around and open up that discussion with the students about what happens if it gets bigger and smaller and what does each coordinate do. So a student can now, if this document is shared with them, and this one is with Sean, and you can see that Sean is in the document, Sean can investigate that math and we can see what he's doing as he goes. Okay, great stuff. So now obviously we have an opportunity as the teacher to go in and provide some feedback. Awesome. And what we could also do is if we had a specific student in mind to offer peer review, using the plus in a comment, choose Josie to do it. Please, can you review Sean's work with 3 stars and a wish, which is something that the students might be used to doing. If we click on reply, then it will point out that the document isn't actually shared with Josie. However, we can either share it so anyone in our organization can comment, but probably more relevant in this case is just that Josie, the person mentioned, can comment. And if I click on share and comment, Josie will then have access to the document, but only to comment, not to edit Sean's work. And she can continue to add to this discussion stream here. So there we go. We can create slides, we can easily insert maths with Equatio, and using the comment and the collaborative nature of Google Slides, it allows us to have some effective marking and feedback along the way.